Hello and welcome to Chip Off the Old Block Toys. I'm Jeff, and today we are working on Lego set 10307. Excuse me. That's the Eiffel Tower that was just released on Black Friday about 2 weeks ago. We are on part 5. This set is going to have many parts because it has 10,001 pieces. So, another way I could have said this was, good morning, it's Sunday live. No, I'm just kidding. Alright. So we've gotten through bags 1 through 25. We've got 26 to, I think it's 73, 74. It's quite a few bags. I'm going to go a little bit longer today because I've got to get through this. There's no two ways about it. So let me just go ahead and grab pieces and let's get started on this. I hope all of you are having an enjoyable day. My day is just starting. I admit I slept in. It felt great. I don't get to do that very often. In fact, almost not at all. Not complaining, just saying how it is. It's how life is. But anyway, yesterday, I have to say I had a most wonderful day. I hung out with my friends Jim and Tammy, and we went to Eiffel Day at the Lego store. And for those who don't know, most of you should know, but some of you probably don't. So just for the people that don't know, Eiffel stands for Adult Fan of Lego. And the Lego store, if you are part of a lug, you are considered an Eiffel. And a couple times a year, it used to be only once a year, but this year it's been twice that I know of, they've had what's called Eiffel Day. And that's where the Lego store sets aside some of their best pick-a-brick parts, opens the store an hour or two early, and you're able to get those pieces, and the pick-a-brick is 15% off. Yeah, I know, not a lot, but hey, you know what? I'll take it, especially with the prices being what they are. So I went there with my friends Jim and Tammy because they're fellow Eiffels, and we had a great time. I picked up 23 pick-a-brick cups, and I have already processed them and put them in my collection. There was a lot of tiles that were white, and I love tiles. Tiles are perhaps on the top 3 of my types of pieces because you can take a set and put a couple tiles on it and make it look smooth and it looks sharper, in my opinion. And you can do that to almost anything, so that's the reason I like it. And hello, Miss Chip, how you doing? And then I hung out with Jim for a little bit. Oh, wait. I gotta backtrack. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna backtrack. Let me just keep going. I hung out with Jim a little bit and his wife, and then I went over to my sister's place, and we did catch lunch in between, by the way. And then I hung out with my sister's for a little bit, and then I went home, and I'm badly needy here at home. Got lots and lots to do, and what I did was I went through my Lego sets and put together about 5 different Lego sets, and I'm still trying to work on them. I'm still trying to get those Lego sets together so that I have them all built. I know that's an endeavor that's going to take me a while. I'm not making this a hard, fast goal because of everything I've got going on, but my quiet hope is that I'll be able to get all of my Lego sets built in 2020 by the end of 2023. Like I said, I'm not committing myself to that. That's a quiet hope. I've just got way too much going on to take on something that big and to commit to it. And that's Buddy that you're hearing meow in the background. Oh, I didn't realize I did this. Let me take care of this. I have to unplug the camera or else it does that every now and again where it switches itself off and back on. Anyway, that's my quiet hope. I hope you'll get through all my sets. And I honestly, part of the reason I'm doing it is I don't know how many I have. I had a database that I was tracking at one time, and I was up to 1,300 sets, and then I quit taking care of that about 2011. So about 12 years ago I quit tracking it, and I've bought many sets since. So I honestly really don't know what I have at this point, and that is not a good thing. That's part of the reason that I feel this internal drive to build all these sets, so I know. And hey, Cliff, how you doing, buddy? It was good to be on your live stream yesterday. I think it was yesterday. The days all meshed together. Was it yesterday or was it the day before? Anyway, congrats, Cliff. Cliff actually, he has had a major accomplishment on his channel. Cliff has surpassed 1,000 subscribers, which is like the golden number, because that's when you're eligible for Google ad revenue, which is totally freaking awesome. I think that's about every YouTuber's goal, and so he has met that criteria. And if I had a hat, I'd tip it in his direction. Cliff's, I like Cliff's style. You know, I here lately haven't been doing much on YouTube at all, but back when I was doing a little bit more on YouTube, I was a kind of a frequent flyer on his live streams, and it's always a good time to be had on his live streams, because there's razzing of each other, but nobody walks away butt hurt. At least I don't. I think it's funny. So anyway, Cliff's a good guy. Check out his channel. So a little bit of backtracking here. My day did not start off like that. My day actually started the day before, and that was I was on Mayo's channel, and I issued him a challenge that if he could get up to 600 subscribers by the end of January, I would build a mock using 8 of the Daily Bugles on his channel. And guess what? Yesterday, when I already own one, so yesterday when I went to the Lego store, they have a limit of 2 that you can buy. So I went and bought those 2, and then so that gave me 3 total. And then I went to a store called End Zone. It's kind of like an adult, and I don't mean adult as in like sex toys. It's an adult toy store. I know, it just sounds so wrong to say that, but I'm sorry, I got some in my eye here. In the store, you can buy like Dungeons and Dragons. You can buy Axis and Allies board games. You can buy little figurines that you can paint that are like dragons and knights and all kinds of stuff. And they also carry Legos. And I'm gonna have to just give me a second. I got something that's really in my eye bothering me. I'll be right back. Okay. Anyways, I went to End Zone, and End Zone is like a gold standard Lego store, which means it's not owned by Lego, but they follow the same procedures, which gives them access to many of the exclusive sets that a lot of these little independent stores can't get. And so anyway, I went there, and I was able to pick up 5 more of the sets. And so, hello Greg, how you doing? And I got 5 of those sets, so now I have 8 of the Daily Bugles, and they're sitting just on the other side of this computer. And if it wasn't such a hassle to turn around the laptop, I would. But you know what I can do? But see, I don't want any judgment, because my house is a mess. I'll be honest, man. With everything I got going on, it's a mess. But I will turn it around anyway. There's 3, and then the rest are down there. Alright, let's get back to what I was doing here. So, that's 7 right there. And then I have the 8th one already built. So I'll have to park that out so I can do this. And I surely will. So, anyway, I'm ready for it. And if Mayo gets to 600, I build it on his channel. And obviously I'm going to have a feed to my channel as well at the same time, so that I'm getting both channels. But, yeah, we'll do that. And then, I'm I'm not trying to say he won't get there, but just so you don't get anticipation built up and then I don't do it. If indeed he does not get there, not all is lost. I will indeed keep my word, and I will build it anyway, but I will build it on my channel. So, in my channel only. But I don't think that's going to happen. I have faith in him, and I have faith that he will get to 600, and when he does, by the end of January, we will do the feed. And if he does it a little bit earlier than the end of January, I will try to get that done. Let me see, what do I got going on? I have a show the second weekend in February. And boy, that wind is really strong outside, let me tell you. Which does not make me feel good because my roof is not fixed. Yeah. Okay, wait a minute. It's saying that I'm short. Let me look at this. Yeah, I think I messed that up. Yeah, I did. I put too long of one in here. Greg, my morning's been going really well. I was able to sleep in today, which is very unusual for me. But, you know, I love when I can sleep in. Usually I'm so wired up, though, that the minute I wake up, I feel like I got to get up and do something. This was not one of those mornings. This was one of those mornings where I was like, man. And I actually almost was late to the stream because I was so comfortable in bed. I was like, man, I don't want to get up. How's your morning going, Greg? You don't work today? Are you still visiting with your mom? I can't remember the particulars. I know you told me, but I'm sorry. This brain, this head's got so much room for stuff to rattle around, and sometimes things just get lost in there. And that's one of those things that got lost in there was what you told me about that. So I have opened 5 bags, and bare minimum, I'm getting through that today on this live stream. So that if we go a little over, we go a little over. I don't care. I really need to get this done. The show for Thanksgiving Point is the first weekend in January, and the problem with that is I'm leaving for a week. That's only like 3 weeks away, and I'm going to be gone for a week. So I don't really have much of a choice but to get it done. Oh, buddy, be quiet. I'm sorry if you hear that. Buddy's a little stinker. He was a wild kitten, and he still kind of is. I think he does his best to be good, but he's still a little bit wild. Well, that's awesome you were able to meet with your mom. And I don't know how much I've said because I tend to be kind of, I do share a lot of my life on here, but I also don't share a lot of my life on here, if that makes sense. My mom, unfortunately, she had COVID a couple months ago, which put her in the hospital, and then she just hasn't been getting better, and she finally decided to go back to the doctor this week, and unfortunately, we found out that she's got pneumonia, and it's pretty bad. So, pardon me, let's see. So this right? Yeah, it goes here. And my mom doesn't want any visitors right now because she's afraid she'll give it to somebody, so I have not been able to go by and see her, which is kind of distressing for me because the whole reason I moved here was to be with my mom and dad. And so not being able to see her at her worst is not a very appealing concept to me. But anyway, I respect my mom and I respect her privacy. She doesn't want anybody by. That's cool. My sister even tried to take her meals and my mom didn't want it. So that's how bad off my mom is. She just doesn't want any visitors right now. So, and I did visit, like I said, my sister and her husband yesterday on the way home. A lot of fun. Ooh, it's even funner when I get the parts right. Anyway, so yeah, we've got all 8 daily bugles ready to go, and I have to admit I'm not really sure on what it's going to look like yet. I have an idea, and it's in my head, but sometimes when, or actually a lot of times when I do bigger builds, I like to sketch it out roughly on paper. And if you know me, you'll know that in my younger days I used to do a lot of sketching, and I like sketching. So a lot of times when I do these sort of builds, I do sketch them out. Just part of who I am, what I like to do. Okay, so we got, this is not fitting very well. There we go. Alright, so we've gotten 2 sides of this leg done, and the other one right here that I'm doing. And I probably need to adjust the camera because I just realized you're not really seeing too good of what I'm seeing. So let me go ahead and do that. And it's a good breakaway because I just got done with another bag. So now we're on bag 27. Alright, let's get another one of these done. But family's important to me, always has been. And I was thinking about the channel a lot yesterday, and I spoke with Jim. He's a good, like I said, good friend of mine from the lug. And when I was talking to Jim, I asked him if he was willing to do a live stream with me. And Jim's a tough guy, and I'm not trying to say he's scared to do it. No, that's not the case. But I think he was a little uncomfortable because he's never done it before. But I asked him, and he accepted. He said that he would be happy to come on, and he says, but he said a couple times, I've never done one before. So I think Jim's a little apprehensive, but you know what? That's really awesome, though, that he's willing to branch out and try something new. And I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to do that. Hopefully here soon I can get him on a live stream. And Jim's a good guy. I probably have told you a little bit about him over time, but I'm not going to say much more about him because I want him to be able to introduce himself and kind of be new to the channel rather than he come on here and it's like, yeah, we kind of already know you because this guy opens his mouth too much. No, I'm just kidding. But one thing I really do like about Jim is his sense of humor. I'll tell you that. He's got a good sense of humor. And I'm having a sense of humor right now too because I can't find pieces. There we go. Thank you, Mrs. Chip. It is very detailed. It's not my detail though. This is not my set. Not my circus, not my monkey, as they say. No, I'm just kidding. It ain't that bad. I actually like this set. I've heard a lot of criticism about it, and be it as it may, you could have your own criticisms of it. I like these sort of things. I like the smaller architecture sets, and I also like these sets here where they're not so small, and they are very detailed. Yes, they end up being a very expensive paperweight, and I do admit that, but so are several of the Lego sets. I mean, I don't sit there and grab any of my Star Wars sets and play with them like a little kid does. They just kind of sit on a shelf, and occasionally I'll look at it, admire it, and I do pay a high price for admiring them. But you know what? They're a lot of fun, and I wouldn't trade this for anything. This is a great talent, and I can tell you that this has kept me out of so much trouble. I can't even really relay to you how much trouble this has kept me out of. So this is not a bad hobby at all. And you know, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but if you talk to several Eiffels, they'll tell you that they feel that Legos are therapeutic. And I will second that. I will second that all day long. That is, these are very therapeutic. If I'm having a rough time, just give me a bucket of Legos, give me a little bit of time, and I'm fine. So, all right. And well, you know, another criticism that I've heard of this is that this set is very repetitious, and yes, it is. But you know, how much criticism can you really give Lego for making it repetitious when the real thing, if you look at it, it's symmetrical for the most part, and it basically, if you're going to make a model of the real thing, it has to be repetitious. Otherwise, you're not making the real thing. Okay, so we've got some more of these, and it feels like I'm coming down with a cold or something. You kind of feel it. Woke up this morning with a little bit heavier voice and all that, but it's not going to stop me from having my fun. I'm going to have my fun, and I'm going to get my stuff done that I need to get done. How's the weather over there? It's damn cold is what it is. We were in the single digits a little bit yesterday. But right now, though, for some reason, I don't know why, we're all of a sudden, we're in the 40s. So, go figure. I don't know. How's the weather like over there where you're at? Hot and humid? No, I'm just kidding. Probably not hot, but it's almost always humid there. I remember living there. Alright, we're just making these little X's. All my X's live in Texas. No, I don't have any X's, thank goodness. It's not a milestone I really want to celebrate anyway. But anyway, I'm not trying to be morbid there, or not morbid, not the right word. I'm not trying to be depressive on that. Do you have more cats for Christmas? Ironically, yes, I do. So yeah, somebody in the last week dumped another cat, and it's staying here. So I must be good to cats because I keep getting them, and I'm really finding it annoying. And if I knew who it was, I'd dump them back on their property. I'll be honest, I would. I think it's cruel to dump an animal. And that's one thing I'll tell you. I am an animal lover. And I think that people that are mean to animals are probably the lowest one of the lowest forms of human beings. The only thing lower is someone who abuses a child. And I say that because a lot of people look at animals as not having feelings and stuff, but they do. They feel hunger, they feel love, they feel hate, they feel a range of emotions. And the other problem with them is, just like children, most animals like cats, they're helpless. There's really not much they can do to defend themselves. And so if you're the type that likes to hurt animals, you're not my friend. And I don't care for you. As much as I don't like taking on extra responsibility that isn't mine, I'm not going to let these animals starve. Let's see right here. Looks like we got a couple extra pieces. Unless Lego comes in and saves the day here. Okay, let's get these on here. Yeah, they're gonna be all outdoor cats. I can tell you that right now. I only have 2 indoor cats. Well, one's kind of a part-time indoor cat, but that's it. I'm not doing. I ain't gonna say who, but I had a relative once that had 19 indoor cats, and the only way they can deal with it is to buy one of those old plastic kiddie pools, and they filled it full of kitty litter, and they had to scoop that thing. Oh my gosh, every day. And sometimes they didn't, and you'd go over their house and go to the front door, and you wouldn't even open the front door. You just open the screen door of the front door, and that smell would punch you in the face. It was horrible. I mean, oh man. And then, you know, they live kind of far, so whenever we go visit, oh hey, can you stay? And it's like, no, I will not be staying. I'm going to a hotel. See you later, sucker. Yeah. Anyway. Let's see. We got this. And then what we got here? We got what? This is really confusing, man. No. Okay, so if I'm looking at it right here, yeah, that's what I thought. This thing's confusing as you know what. Yeah, I like to talk to myself when I build. That's the other part. It's therapeutic. I work things out with myself. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So if I'm looking at the piece right here, they're saying bend it that way and bend this way. Okay. All right. Got to do the same thing here. I have really known some interesting characters in my life. Let me just say that. All right. Alright, so we got another bag 28 coming up. And obviously we're going to build the support right here. I hope after that it gets a little more exciting than what it's been. I say that because it's just like, it's been really repetitious to this point, and excuse me. Let me get a drink here. Sorry, I can't shake that. Caught that piece. I would just like to have that mental note in my head of this thing being a little bit further, and be able to see it, see the progress, and make a mental note of it. So that's why I'm hoping that this goes a little bit different. Here we go. Here's Bud. He's a little stinker. But he's purring right now. He's a really friendly kitty. I like him. This one was not dumped. I picked this one up. That was before somebody dumped 2 cats on me. So, I was not planning on having 8 cats, but, well, I have 8 cats. Okay, let's see. Let's get that far on this one too. But I'm really excited. I think I've mentioned this before, but if I have, I'm sorry, but I don't remember. Like I said, there's a lot rattling around in his brain and mine. So here's the deal. There is a plan on why I'm doing this. And the reason that I am building this Eiffel Tower is to promote the channel. I go to these shows and I get a few subscribers each time, but nothing significant. I'm trying to change that. I like going to these shows, but they are a big expense with time and money, and I need to get more of a return out of them, if you know what I mean. So, my plan to get that return is to make a video, and to make a QR code of that video and stick it, print it off and stick it on the plexiglass of our display. And I'm going to put down the Eiffel Towers, and the Eiffel Towers will, I'll have the two architect ones. One's an architect all by itself, and the other one is a architect that's the skyline of Paris. And so I'll go ahead and do that. Those two, and then the older one that's 42 inches tall, and then the new one that's 58 inches tall. And I'll put that all together and line them up, do a video comparing them. And I hear something really weird. Might be Buddy doing something crazy. He's a little crazy. He's a little young. Excuse me. I don't mean to do that in your ear, but I really am coming down with something. Anyway, I'm going to do this video of all the 4 different versions side by side, and then I'm going to go ahead and do that video, put on the QR code, put on the plexiglass, and that way anybody who comes by can look at the video, and it'll be on my channel, and of course hopefully that will expose them to my channel, and they'll go ahead and subscribe, and that will help broaden this channel a little bit. I don't want to be I don't ever dream of being a huge channel, but I'd like to be far enough that I'm getting paid for this a little bit, because being that I live so remote, I would like to not have to depend so much on my job and be able to make it financially if I didn't have the job that I currently have. So that's my motivation. My motivation is not to make money to be rich, it's to make money to be able to be more financially independent. And Buddy's playing with the highlighter that I'm not sure where he got. Oh, I remember where that was at. That was on top of the computer desk. Kind of tells you where he's been, doesn't it? Kind of telling on himself. Got the evidence. Okay, so let's do this. You gotta do 4 of these. And 4 it is. Almost. And thanks, Miss Chip, about the shirt. This is easily one of my favorites. Of course, a lot of my shirts are my favorites. If you know me, you know I have an affinity for Star Wars, and yeah, it's awesome. Any Star Wars shirt I can get. Alright, let's place these where they belong. And like I said, the exciting part is This is the last of the little legs, the bottom part of the legs. And yeah, I understand. This to me is not a good set to part out in a Lego store because there really isn't much building material here except for something like this. I really can't see myself using a lot of these pieces. I could use a few of them, but not enough to make it worth to buy these and part them out. You know, I really hate to keep leaving the camera, but Buddy is being awful, and I'm going to throw him outside. Okay. Sorry about that. I am back. That was the necessary evil. No, I'm just kidding. He likes to go outside anyway. But I don't know if you could hear it, but I could, and it was distracting me. So he had to go. And obnoxious dogs next door are outside, and they're barking too, and I can hear them, and I don't know if you can hear them, but they're distracting me as well. So I watched Jackass Forever. Yeah, I remember that. I haven't seen that one, but I have seen like the first two of those I've seen. But anyway, how'd you like it, Greg? And those dogs are distracting me because they're just carrying on. And there's just no reason to be carrying on. There's nothing outside for them to bark at. We're out in the middle of the country. There's nothing out there. And they just let their dogs out all the time. Well, not all the time, but almost every day about lunchtime they let them out, and it's just annoying. Because if you're trying to concentrate or get something done, all you hear is bark, 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 and it's like, really, seriously? So, anyway, yeah, if you can't tell, I'm a little annoyed. Man, so far there hasn't been a whole lot of extra pieces in this set, and that's unusual for Lego. All right, let's get these on here. Yeah, I think I did that wrong. In fact, I know I did that wrong, so let me fix that. It was funny. Alright, so can you, if it's too much typing, don't worry about it, but what was like your favorite like stunt, or I don't know, whatever you call it, clip from that? And like I said, this is the exciting part, because you cannot hear, well, the cats aren't making any noise now. It's the stupid dogs. And yes, I do think they're stupid. They just sit out there and bark all day long. I don't mean to be negative, but if you had to live hearing that a lot, it would annoy the hell out of you too. And I guess that's more of an annoyance to me. Alright, so let's I think today's one of those days that I wish I didn't live so far out, because there are some people I'd like to see today, but I sure don't want to drive an hour to see them. I don't want to drive the hour back either. So, I know it sounds mean, but okay, so this is really neat. Hydraulic jacks were fitted to the shoes at the base of each leg of the real Eiffel Tower to allow for precise alignment. The legs on the Lego model also have some flexibility to allow them to be joined precisely. Okay, so now this is calling for me to grab the base, so let me set everything aside. I'm going to need every square inch I can get. And we're going to be able to throw this thing on. Okay. The cup test or Steve OB experiment. Ooh. Okay, I honestly, I haven't seen it, so I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds like a glutton for punishment. Okay, so according to this, I'm just supposed to be able to snap these together. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Well, shoot. Let me see what I can do here. Okay, it's not going to hold, so I'm going to put this down, and then I'm going to adjust the camera. Okay, so hopefully this is within specs so you guys can see it. And I know you guys can't hear my voice that well when I walk away. Alright, so let's put it there. Let's put her there. And let's go do this one. Any dad jokes today? Yeah, when do dad jokes become, when do regular jokes become dad jokes? When they become apparent. Alright, that was dumb. Something just rattled off. I don't know what it was. I just heard it, but I don't see it. Oh, I see what it was. Alright. And last but not least, let's get the fourth leg in here. And there was a comedian, I don't remember who it was, and I wished I could remember. I think it was Chris Rock, if I remember right. He said, my grandma puts on her bra the same way your grandma does, one leg at a time. Okay. Well, look at that. All that was not for nothing. We actually got this together, and now we need to strengthen it a little bit by putting this here. Okay, so now it says bags 29 and 30, which I have right here. So I've got to do 8 of these. Holy crud. And that's too long. And that looks like it's a little too short. Because it's saying this is one for one. And yeah, it's just a tad short. So let's see if we can find some of these pipes that are just a touch longer, or maybe they just didn't do it right. I mean, it looks like the picture's just off a little bit, because when I'm looking at this, there are no different sizes. There's only 2 sizes, and this is the closest of all of them. That's what I got in my hand. Okay, let me push this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I guess I can do the best I can to slide it over a little bit. But we've got 2 more bags I want to get through. Well, 2 bags that we're on now is what I want to get through today. Because like I said, I'm really anxious to get through this. With everything I got going on, I just got everything I got going on. I got to get it through, get it done so I can be ready for the show, and got the video and everything else. So, okay, this is a times 8, so repetition, repetition, repetition. Okay. There was this video that I passed around to some of my friends. It was of a blonde girl, and she was talking about how blondes get making fun of because they say every blonde is dumb or something. And she's holding those cue cards, and if you've ever seen those videos, there's no sound to them except for maybe some background music. And what they do is they flip through the cards and they tell a story. Well, to make fun of blonde, she's holding these cue cards, and instead of pulling the first one down so it changed, she just kept removing the last one before it, so it always said the same thing, and that is blondes are dumb. So I really thought I got a kick out of that. All right, so let's get all of these built. Boy, oh boy, that wind's really picking up. I wonder how long this wind's going to last today. Okay, so these go on the inside. I don't understand. Oh. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Alright. Well, they don't connect to anything, do they? No, they don't. Okay, no. I'm fine. I'm sorry. Just having a little bit of a panic attack here because, well, the last thing I need is to have made a mistake on bag 1 and then now have to pay for it dearly. I'm not in the mood for that, guys. So we're putting these little guys on the insides to kind of give it more of a curved look than the locky look that it kind of has right now. And this is not from the Lego book, or maybe it is in here, but this is just from my own personal knowledge that I've gained because I've watched videos and read about the Eiffel Tower in the past. The Eiffel Tower was actually only supposed to be up for 20 years. And at first, the people of Paris hated it. Well, not all of them, but The majority of them did. And they didn't want it there. They thought it was an eyesore. And they petitioned the government to have it tore down. But over time, it gained the hearts of many. And now, I mean, you don't think about Paris without thinking about the Eiffel Tower. And the fact that it's lasted over 100 years, I think that's absolutely awesome. I would like to do some research to figure out what they've coated it, because it's made out of iron, which is cool, but at the same time, we all know that metals rust, and so I'd like to know what it's treated with and how often they need to apply that treatment to it. That'd be something interesting to know. Alright, so we got that done. Oh boy, times 4, and this is a big one. Alright, so I am definitely going to pick this up and move it. So this says times 4. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, Greg, I have gone through Wyoming, and I will agree. There are some really high winds, especially on the plateau. It's like, I think it's like 9,000 feet tall up there, and it's just windy as windy as can get. And when I went to the Denver show, I came back through Wyoming, and it's I was okay, but the people, Jim and Tammy, that had one of those like rider trucks, they were hauling our stuff in. They actually did not go the same day. They started the trek like we did, but it was so windy and it was pushing the truck everywhere that they stopped for the night and waited till the next morning when the winds died down. And when I drove here with the what do you call it, the moving truck myself, it was kind of sketchy at times with the wind. I don't think that Idaho in general has a lot of wind. I think it's kind of localized. Here, because the way that the land is, we do have some issues because we've got mountains on 3 sides of us. We've got a canyon to the northwest, and that canyon, it just kind of creates a wind tunnel. And so, yeah, when the wind comes through here, it doesn't have much to go because the mountains are in the way, and the only way it has to go is through the town diagonally. And yeah, it creates some high winds pretty regularly too. So, welcome to a couple new people that popped in. Thank you for joining us. We are building some of the, I guess, the more arches of the underside of the Eiffel Tower. I don't need these pieces. But yeah, we've got a long way to go on this set. This is no this is not amateur hour here. My fingers definitely telling me that. I've been building so much Lego here lately that my fingers literally hurt sometimes. First world problems, I know. First world problems. But you know something? I'm still going to say it. Okay, let's see. Let's do this. We got tiles going on here. And like I said, this is for my show coming up next month. My lug is participating in a show, and I want to have the different Eiffel Towers side by side as a comparison video on the channel, and a QR code for people to watch it at the show itself. So it has many purposes what I'm doing here. Hopefully I am able to pull this all off, and hopefully it doesn't fall apart when I'm driving there. After all, this show is 2 hours away, and it only takes one a-hole to get in front of you and make you slam on the brakes, and this thing does its thing and goes flying. And hopefully that does not happen, because that actually did happen to me when I was moving. My sister let me borrow her spare room down in the basement, and I was transporting my Legos I didn't want to take apart. My Lego sets I didn't want to take apart, and anyway, my dad was driving, and I was holding on to my Ninjago City, and my sister lives about 45 minutes away from my old place, and we got onto my sister's street. So we had made it that far. No Lego set was fine. No pieces had fallen off. No problems. We get on to my sister's street, and we're like less than 1,000 feet from her street, her house, her driveway. And some a-hole that lives in the house just beyond her has a kind of a newer teen driver, and he got so close to my dad, he tried to run him off the road. And my dad does drive kind of slow. He's older. And my dad had to pull off the road real fast to not get hit. And well, on my sister's street, Ninjago City fell out of my lap and all over his car. And I spent probably the next 2 hours putting it together. Of course, I had some help because some of my second cousins, nieces, and nephews and stuff were there, so they did help out. But it sure was annoying because, you know, you get on that street and you're thinking, oh, I'm in the home stretch, kind of like Sorry, you know, you got that little home stretch that no one can knock you out. And I thought, okay, that's where we're at when we turn on that street, and boy, was I wrong. Sometimes you couldn't be more wrong. You know, you have expectations, you hope things go a certain way, and they don't. And this, oh, there it is. I was going to say I was short a piece, but no, I am not short a piece. I'm short some brain cells. That usually happens too. But if you guys would drop a like on this, I'd appreciate that. And Mrs. Chip and I, we talked about doing another live stream today together. I'm not really sure how that's going to pan out and if that's going to pan out, to be honest with you, but I'd like to. We'd mostly be doing it to test out StreamYard because I've paid for it and I need to use it. And we need to see from how to use it from multiple locations. But if we do it, she'll be building a small set, and I'll be building just a small little set, just for the heck of it. Okay, so we've gotten this far. Let's keep it going. Oh, this is going to be nice. 16 of these. But you know what I am happy though about is that I opened up these bags and really hoped I can get through it today, and it's gonna happen. We're almost there, and we will go slightly over the hour, but that's okay. Your satisfaction is guaranteed, or the next hour is free. And now I'm starting to realize my mistake. I should have gotten up and gotten breakfast before I started this, because I'm a hungry man. And I'm sorry, but Burger King for breakfast does not appeal to me, so I'm going to make something here. Yeah, it only does take one jerk off to mess up things. when I used to commute in DC, that would just make me mad. We got all those freeways and all those roads, but you also have a ton of people living there, and all those freeways are no good. They're no match for one asshat. That's all it took, was one asshat to just mess up traffic, and I just hated it because I would leave work on time, and because some idiot was on their cell phone or just trying to squeeze in and couldn't wait, he would cause the rest of us some headaches. So that was really annoying to live there sometimes. But it is still a beautiful area with a lot of our nation's history. It's just also very crowded as well. We lived there for 7 years. We lived there from what was that? 13 was it? No. It was 11. No. We were in Maryland on 11. Oh shoot, I don't even know. It was 7 years. Just don't give me a quiz on that, because I won't fail. I think we moved there in 13. But, I don't know. Oh, okay, so this is what I set out to do, was this many bags, and I got this many bags done. How many bags? We are on bag 31, so there's 30 bags in the bag. Next is some very complicated things. Yeah, I don't think I want to keep going, because I'm looking at this and it's like, wow, there's a lot of detail left in here. So we're going to leave this detail right where it's at for right now, and we will resume this tomorrow. And tomorrow, same thing. We're going to try to push ahead and go a little bit longer than an hour, try to get a little bit more done out of here. There are so many bags in this thing, it's almost ridiculous. But this is a great set. And at the end of this book, we will be done with bag 40, and there's like 74, I think it is, 73, something like that. All right, guys, I do appreciate you joining in and following my journey. And I hope you guys have a good one, and be good to each other. Stay safe out there. Drop a like, and I'll catch you on the next one.